This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
We need to reemphasize and strengthen our bilateral relationship instead of damage or block that bilateral relationship.
Tough times in the relationship between the U.S. and Mexico. Former Mexican President Felipe Calderón reacts to President Trump's vow to build that wall, saying there is no relationship if there is a wall dividing the two countries. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on the former Mexican president's visit to the Suncoast, but first, our top 7 stories at 7. And we begin with a troubling story. The Sarasota Police Department is investigating a Booker Middle School student who was found on a school bus today with a gun. Police say 2 children are in custody and are being questioned by detectives. No students were harmed. The investigation continues, and we'll bring you more information as it becomes available. Members of the Florida legislators' Black Caucus are supporting a state's attorney's decision not to pursue the death penalty in murder cases. That includes the recent case of accused Orlando cop killer Markeith Lloyd. The Black Caucus also says Governor Rick Scott was wrong to pull state's attorney Aramis Ayala off Lloyd's case and to reassign it to another prosecutor. State Senator Perry Thurston says Ayala has the right to run her office as she sees fit, and the governor shouldn't insert himself into pending cases.
The order operates as little more than an unfettered and uninformed power grab by the governor's office over a difference of opinion.
Thurston and other members of the Black Caucus say the issue is bigger than just the Lloyd case and that the death penalty is handed down more often to Black or Hispanic defendants. A proposal to get rid of a Depression-era ban on liquor sales is moving ahead in the legislature. The liquor wall measure was approved today by a Senate committee. Stores like Walmart and Target want to stock liquor on shelves near other goods, but Publix and ABC Wine and Spirits enjoy having standalone liquor stores.
If retailers want to, they don't have to, but if retailers want to, they can sell distilled spirits in the same format that they sell beer and wine.
What I don't want is hard liquor to be an impulse buy when you're walking through the grocery store shopping for your regular groceries. You're picking up your eggs and your milk and your this and your that, and you've had a bad day.
The proposal would stagger the repeal of the law over several years, prohibit new package stores from being licensed within 1,000 feet of a school, and require small bottles to be displayed only behind the counter. We're really popular, and now we have the stats to prove it. New census numbers show the Suncoast is the 10th fastest growing metro area in the U.S. Manatee and Sarasota counties are now home to nearly 800,000 people. Manatee County grew by 11,000 people between July of 2015 and July of 2016. Sarasota County added 7,600 new residents. The influx comes mostly from people moving here from other parts of the country, and the numbers show last year more than 2,000 people moved to the Suncoast from other parts of the world.
As you can see, we have lots of hotels that are going up that should be opening in the next year or two, and that, like I said, is the funnel that brings them here eventually, and that leads to more condos and more amenities.
Many locals complain the problem with growth is traffic. Chamber leaders say they are working with local, state, and federal government leaders to deal with those issues. A water main break caused headaches and traffic delays in Sarasota today. It happened around 2 p.m. near the intersection of US 41 and 32nd Street. The police department closed the northbound lanes of North Tamiami Trail. The road is expected to remain closed overnight and should open up tomorrow afternoon. A new wildfire is also causing a traffic headache in Charlotte County. The fire is burning along Harborview Road west of I-75. The Florida Highway Patrol is urging drivers to be extra cautious on I-75 near that exit. The fire broke out around noon. No homes are being threatened at this time, and the fire is now 95% contained. Firefighters are still on the scene, and investigators are trying to determine what sparked a fire that damaged an apartment complex in Bradenton, leaving a number of families homeless. The fire started around 4:30 yesterday afternoon at the Harbor Point Apartments. It began in the stairwell and quickly spread to the attic of the 16-unit building. No one was seriously injured, but there was heavy damage to one unit and water and smoke damage to 7 others.
You just do what you would want your neighbors to do. Adrenaline pumps, and you do what you have to do to try to help people.
Investigators still have not determined what caused the fire. And now it's time for a check on the weather, and Josh is in for Bob.
Yeah, Alan. Boy, we had temperatures that were very warm today, but also the other thing in our forecast was some rain. Now, no rain right now here in Sarasota, 74 degrees. The winds are going to become the story, though. Easterly, northeasterly winds right now at 20 miles per hour. Those winds are sustained. But we had a front that came down from the north. We were forecasting this to happen. And with a little moisture that came into play here, the heating of the day, some cold air above the warm air, we had some explosive thunderstorms. And in fact, at one point, the Storm Prediction Center put us under a marginal risk for severe weather. Now, fortunately, we didn't have any severe destructive storms in our area, but to the south in Lee County, there was some severe storms that took place. But those have now pushed off into the Gulf of Mexico, and everything quieting down at this time around Wauchula and Hardy County, central Hardy County, maybe a few steady light rain showers, but that's really the only thing I can come up with on the map at this time. Now, as we go through the overnight, expect partly cloudy skies. But like I said, the winds are going to pick up behind this passing cold front now, so winds could gust up to maybe 20+ miles per hour as we go through the overnight and into tomorrow. As far as our temperatures, we fall into the mid to lower 60s tonight. But the weekend, Alan, is really shaping up to looking very nice. And I'll talk more about that when I come back.
And that's okay with me.
There you go.
Thanks a lot, Josh. And still to come, former Mexican President Felipe Calderón calls the country a powerful ally to the U.S. But what does he have to say about the Trump administration's proposed border wall and the North American Free Trade Agreement when we come back?
ABC7 News at 7, weeknights.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Car experts and customers agree. There's a whole lot to love about a new Subaru. Subaru was named the 2016 Best Overall Brand, Most Trusted, and Best Performance Brand by Kelley Blue Book. And ALG named Subaru its top mainstream brand for residual value for 2016. Now you can lease a new Subaru Outback for just $229 a month or get 0% financing during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Florida Studio Theater presents Piano Men, held over by popular demand through April 2nd. Attributing the virtuosity and elegance of the Piano Man, Piano Men features the works of 20th century's best pianists and songwriters. Featuring songs from music icons such as Billy Joel, Stevie Wonder, and Barry Manilow, don't miss what critics are saying is energetic with fun and playful performances that evokes hits of an era. Piano Men is held over by popular demand. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting FloridaStudioTheater.org.
I met a girl, she made me smile. She She made me wait. She crossed the street. She crossed my heart. She fixed her dress. She bit her lip.
It's early in the presidency of Donald Trump, but as we saw today with the health care bill, he is having a tough time turning campaign promises into actual legislation. And one of his top campaign promises, build that wall. The former president of Mexico was on the Suncoast this week, and Jacqueline Matter reports he has a few thoughts about that.
When it comes to the relationship between the U.S. and Mexico, these aren't easy times. President Trump has made illegal immigration and a border wall a central theme of his campaign, and he's following through. But at what cost?
We, the Mexican, we are not the enemy of the United States. We are a powerful ally. We have been a powerful ally. There is a lot at stake.
Day one, my first hour in office, those people are gone. Zero tolerance for criminal aliens. Zero.
President Trump's proposed border wall and withdrawal from NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, has left our neighbors to the south with a mixture of anger, resentment, and anxiety. As the sensitive issue continues to come to light these days, former Mexican President Felipe Calderon, who was in Sarasota for the Ringling Town Hall Lecture Series, says the conversation is an important one, as frayed relations with Mexico will cost the U.S. big money.
1.1 million families depend on the export of American products towards Mexico. Mexico is the second largest buyer of American products in the world.
Despite an estimated $584 billion trade market in 2015, it's not stopping the Trump administration, as they say their proposed 30-foot-high border wall is ahead of schedule and are demanding Mexico pay for that replacement of existing fencing that covers nearly 700 miles.
We're going to build the wall. It's going to be a real wall. It's going to be a great wall, and Mexico's going to pay for the wall. Believe me, they're going to pay. They're going to pay.
While the border wall is the talk of the town these days, no one is agreeing to pay for it. I took to the streets of the Suncoast to see how people in our area felt.
I think that it would be good if we didn't have a border, but if we're going to have one and it becomes necessary because the Mexicans won't control their side, then I think the taxpayers should contribute.
If we're going to build a wall, we ought to maybe do it and split that cost between the two countries.
I don't think that the U.S. taxpayers need to pay for the wall, and I don't think Mexico needs to pay for the wall, so that throws it up in the air. How are you going to get this accomplished? I think that there's, again, come up with a really strong immigration policy.
A strong immigration policy is not the issue that Trump painted it to be in his campaign, according to Calderon. So why does he think Trump has made such an issue out of it?
He pointed out the fear that the American people feel, to capture all those fears and try to embody in a virtual enemy, in this case the Mexican, either Mexican products or Mexican workers.
Trump says the fear stems from violence that far outweighs the positives the neighboring country could bring.
We have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
Those here on the Suncoast say their issue is with those who don't go through the proper vetting process.
I think we have bad Americans. I mean, I don't think you can put people into a category because they're Mexican or Iranian or anything like that. That's the way that the world is, unfortunately. But you have a lot of great people.
I just don't know if you need to spend all that money to have some wall that I think somebody wants.
The former Mexican president says while history has shown that Mexico and the U.S. have done great things together, one thing is certain: they will not build a wall.
We need to reemphasize and strengthen our bilateral relationship instead of damage or block that bilateral relationship, especially related with trade.
Calderon tells me the big question remains: if the Mexican economy reduces its growth and performance, what will happen to immigration here in the U.S.? He says a good example of that would be if trade with Mexico were to stop, immigration would continue to grow in America. Jacqueline Matter, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Coming up in a moment, one contentious issue, two sides. We are taking it to the trapezoid.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Attention small business owners. Penn Funding announces the easiest and fastest business funding program, the Platinum Business Account.
We needed cash fast. Business is good, but this is an emergency.
We needed some new equipment, and the banks wouldn't help us. At Penn Funding, we like to say, yes, you're approved. With your Platinum Business Account, you could qualify for up to $50,000 or more. This amazing new business account funding program is so effective, you could have the cash you need in just days.
I called, spoke with an agent who pre-qualified us, and connected me.
Call now for your Platinum Business Account. If you've been in business for at least 6 months, you could qualify for up to $50,000 or more in just days.
I called Penn Funding and had my money fast.
Need cash for your business? Call Penn Funding now.
Call 800-658-3433. 800-658-3433.
It's the season of savings right now during the spring clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Come shop the Suncoast's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers, or stop by today and drive away in a 2017 Jeep Cherokee for just $18,999. And for a limited time, get America's best value, a new Dodge Journey for as little as $16,599. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Welcome back. It is easy to say we'll build that wall and have Mexico pay for it, but the reality is Mexico won't pay for the wall, and it remains to be seen if Congress coughs up the tax dollars to flip the bill. The former Mexican president, Felipe Calderón, was on the Suncoast this week discussing relations between the U.S. and Mexico. Calderón says it is not a good idea for the U.S. and Mexico to be fighting like this. And joining us for more on these issues is Rod Thompson, the president of the Sarasota Republican Club, and attorney Andres Cobalasi. I have the name right?
Yes.
All right. Rod, let me begin with you because you heard the former Mexican president talk about how much the U.S. and Mexico has in common, and that the friction now in terms of the wall and immigration and NAFTA is not good.
Well, I mean, I think friction generally isn't good, but this was inevitably going to come to a head because we've had what I think is a very poor immigration policy for several decades now that has done a fair amount of economic damage to the lower end of Americans. So because Mexico is not nearly so adamant about enforcing their northern border as they are their southern border, and because both Republicans and Democrats have had some political gain by winking and nodding at a very fluid border and allowing illegals in, it's been a bad situation. That was eventually going to catch up politically with us, and it did.
And Andres, I want to get your reaction to that. But first, Rod, you know, there have been some statistics in the first 2 months of the Trump administration. Illegal border crossings were down 40%, but it was also true that illegal border crossings were down dramatically under President Obama.
Right. I think part of that, I think we know for fair certainty that the border crossings are going to mirror the strength of the economy in Mexico, and Mexico's economy is going to be clearly attached to the U.S. economy. So when our economy was really bad, Mexico's was really bad, there was a lot more Mexicans coming here in hopes of finding work. As our economy improved and Mexico's economy improved, there was much less of that, and some of them felt like they could go home and find work. So it makes a lot of sense from an economic perspective.
I was going to actually get to the trade issue a little bit later in the broadcast, but one of the arguments for NAFTA, which is you know, caused so much discussion in this country, is that by strengthening the Mexican economy, illegal immigration has really decreased. So when you hear the president saying we're going to get rid of NAFTA, Andres, what's your reaction?
Well, the reaction in Mexico has been NAFTA has been great for both countries. Since NAFTA, the trade between Mexico and the United States has significantly increased. Right now, Mexico is the second biased or largest buyers of American products. I think that's a good statement. That means Mexicans really like American products.
But you know, the argument you often hear, and the argument a lot of our viewers would make, is that all those manufacturing jobs that were done in the U.S. that they went back to Mexico, where labor costs are less. So it may have improved the Mexican economy, but it certainly didn't help U.S. workers.
Well, it certainly helped the U.S. as well, because President Calderon mentioned yesterday that if you were to take the border states of the United States and the border states of Mexico together, that would be the 5th largest economy in the world.
Right. And Rod, what about that? I mean, the trade agreement is a really difficult issue because many Republicans supported it when President Clinton signed it into office.
Yeah, and I was one of them, actually. I was a real fan of NAFTA because I'm a free trade person in principle and philosophy. I'm not sure that NAFTA's worked out quite as much as well as we thought it would. I don't know that it needs to be totally junked, but I think it really needs to be seriously renegotiated so that it's a little bit more fair to the United States.
Okay. We are going to just take a quick break, and when we return, we'll have an updated forecast with our meteorologist, so stay with us.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular received a J.D. Power Award for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-297-5313. Go to consumercellular.com or visit a Target or Sears store today.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
Time to get a check on our weather tonight with meteorologist Josh Stone. Josh.
All right, thanks so much, Alan. Well, we had a front that came down from the north, and the dynamics came together to finally produce some much-needed rainfall in the state of Florida. Front came in, we had some colder air aloft, we had moisture that came in, the winds were just right, and our radar lit up. We forecasted for this, but the heaviest storms took place in eastern and central Florida and southeast Florida and even southwest Florida. For the Suncoast, for the most part, everything remained pretty clear other than a few spotty showers. Zeroing in right now in Hardee County, well, this shower is starting to dissipate, but that's really the only thing we can find right now on the radar as the activity is winding down. But we had some nasty storms that tracked through Fort Myers. The Southwest Florida International Airport near Fort Myers reported a wind gust of 46 miles per hour. There was some pea-sized hail reported in Cape Coral, and also marine warning with this one cell that tracked off the shore here. But everything, as you can see, losing its punch with the sun angle very low and sun setting now, and also the heating of the day lost, and the dynamics just aren't there to support any sort of evening storms. Our high today, wow, we topped at 85, still below the record of 88 set back in 2007, but our average is 77 degrees, so we were well above that today. And as far as rain goes, well, this graphic is not really telling the entire story. Officially at the Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport, 0.00 inches of rain. That brings the deficit over 5 inches now. But as we showed you, the radar did light up this afternoon, so areas around the Suncoast did get some spotty showers, but this particular rain gauge, which happens to be our official rain gauge, got nothing today. As far as the overnight, partly cloudy skies, but the story now focuses on the wind. The easterly wind will kick up tonight and tomorrow, and then things calm down by tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. And then the weekend looks fabulous. Lots of sunshine, and people are going to like the temperatures. Right now, 74 degrees in Sarasota, 76 in Venice, 77 in Northport. A little bit cooler in Lake Placid, farther inland, 69 degrees right now. The wind sustained out Longboat Key at 16 miles per hour, 18 miles per hour in Anna Maria, 18 miles per hour sustained in Lakewood Ranch. And the forecast wind gusts take these winds over 30 miles per hour. Now, this is a forecasting weather graphic here. We'll just have to see if they crank up to this amount, but it's going to be possible that these winds are going to be very breezy with these wind gusts over the next 24 hours. All right, the big picture shows this area of high pressure now settling in behind this cold front that's passing us by, and that's eventually going to clear out the skies and once again bring more dry air above us, which will help bring us sunshine in our forecast. For the beach and boating forecast, we'll start off seeing easterly winds at 15 knots tomorrow, and then they'll start to die down in the afternoon, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. The sea is just offshore, anywhere from 2 to 3 feet with a moderate chop in the bays, 78 degrees at the beach. Focusing on the overnight low tonight, our low would drop to 62 degrees with partly cloudy skies, but again, it's going to be breezy at least for the next 24 hours. Then winds die down, though, by tomorrow evening. 81 for a high tomorrow, and the weekend looks wonderful. Lots of sunshine in it, and highs top out in the upper 70s. Stay with us. Alan will be right back.
If you've ever had a bad night's sleep, call and price the new Craftmatic Legacy. It has so much more than other adjustables and still costs up to 50% less, featuring a rising adjustable pillow rest to support your head, neck, and shoulders, bedside power plugs, under-bed night lights, and more. So call and price one today for less, up to 50% less than Tempur-Pedic, Sleep Number, and other adjustables.
You get so much more and it still costs less. You gotta see how little they cost.
Call 1-800-774-8103. That's 1-800-774-8103. Call now.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered calls for recovery and treatment 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're depressed, drinking, using drugs, or taking pills, call now and talk to someone who cares.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Most insurance covers substance abuse. You can get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call 800-622-1941. 800-622-1941.
Car experts and customers agree there's a whole lot to love about a new Subaru.
Subaru offers more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And Subaru had the best resale value of all brands for 2016. Now you can lease a new Subaru Forester for just $209 a month or get 0% financing during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Florida Studio Theater presents Piano Men, held over by popular demand through April 2nd. Attributing the virtuosity and elegance of the Piano Man, Piano Men features the works of 20th century's best pianists and songwriters. Featuring songs from music icons such as Billy Joel, Stevie Wonder, and Barry Manilow, don't miss what critics are saying is energetic, with fun and playful performances that evokes hits of an era. Piano Men is held over by popular demand. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
Welcome back. The former Mexican president visits the Suncoast and discusses the wall, trade, and President Trump. We are with Rod Thompson, who is with the Sarasota Republican Club, and attorney Andres Kobayashi. And Andres, let me start with you, because the Mexican president made the case about why the wall is detrimental to the relationship between both countries. But you know, a lot of the people who are watching this right now, they're very straightforward about it. That illegal immigration is illegal, and that no matter what, allowing folks in to work, even if they work hard, means that they came in illegally. So how do you make the case to them?
Well, President Calderon's position was very clear. His position is the real threat is not illegal immigration from people that come here to work. The real threat is organized crime and terror. And in his opinion, organized crime and terror will work around, over, or under the wall. So his invitation is to both countries work together and resolve the issue that way.
Well, I mean, is the wall, Rod, a panacea for all the problems associated with the southern border?
Not a panacea at all. But to me, it is at this point now a necessary tool to have in the toolbox. Because it's been too much of an open sieve. I mean, I love the idea of working together with the Mexican government to try and fight the cartels there. And I also agree that the physical threat is crime and terror. But I also think there's an economic threat of, we've talked before about when you have most of the illegals coming over the southern border are going to be unskilled, uneducated, and they're going to be taking the low-end jobs, and that hurts working Americans and lower-income Americans.
But we've had that discussion before, and in fact, we're going to be doing a show in the near future about the lack of farm workers. There are not enough people there who are willing to pick the tomatoes or pick the strawberries in our area, and if those farmers paid higher wages, then the cost would go up for consumers. The question is, whether guest workers have always had a place, whether they came here legally or not, in terms of the jobs that Americans don't want to do.
I never liked that phrase, jobs that Americans don't want to do unless you add on at the current price point, because in part because of our safety net. So yeah, Americans are not going to want to work the strawberry fields in Florida's heat for $3 an hour. They're just not going to. However, what that probably means is that the price of strawberries has been artificially low for too long. Those wages probably should be higher, and probably if they were higher, what would happen is there'd be some automation that would go on too. To me, this is purely an economic issue.
All right, let's talk about the wall itself. Andres, number one, do you think a border wall would be effective?
I oppose the wall, and I don't think it will be effective.
Why?
I think the wall would just bring a lot of pressure into Mexico. And if the Mexican economy struggles, we know that more immigration is going to try to come. Therefore, if we work together and bring more benefits between both countries, more commerce, more legal immigration, if you want to say it, that way it will be better. So instead of putting that money into building a wall, let's put it into resolving the real issues and bringing more benefit to both countries.
Let's talk about the wall itself. I saw one estimates that it will be at least $24 billion, and you heard over and over again what candidate Trump said about Mexico paying for that wall. Rod, number one, do you think Mexico is going to pay for that wall?
Not directly. If we're talking about are they going to write a check and front it, never in a billion years is that going to happen. However, that's not the only option, because the second part is, a reasonable question is Congress going to fund it? And my point is they darn well better. That was, to me, that was part of the message of the election. They fund it, but the point is they can fund it.
So that means the folks who are watching this tonight,
Absolutely.
They're going to pay for it.
That's right. Up front. Look, we have to pay for immigration enforcement. That's part of the cost of a country, is having borders and paying for immigration enforcement.
Let me stay on that for a second. Right now, today, we see that for 8 years, Republicans have said that they want to repeal and replace Obamacare. Priority number one, they have not been able to get that done yet. So you think that you're going to get a bill through Congress and on the president's desk for $24 billion to build a wall? Yeah, actually, I think that would be a much easier one because of the complications of repealing and replacing Obamacare and the 100 million people that could affect in their health coverage and all. And a very complicated one. I think that the wall is pretty straightforward. Are you willing to fund it? And is there a plan for in some way getting repatriation money from Mexico to at least pay for part of it? And that was my next question to you, Andres, that the alternative for from Mexico writing out a check for the wall would be to take it back in terms of a repatriation. Thank you very much. What is your view of that? I mean, I would imagine that the Mexican government and Mexican citizens would not be supportive of that as well.
Well, it comes at a very difficult time in Mexico because Mexico is heading into elections next year. So if the current president supports the idea of paying some part of the wall, that will be very risky for him.
What is the politics of that down there? We know that the current president of Mexico is incredibly unpopular.
Yes, his ratings are pretty low, but Mexican people do not want to pay for that wall. They don't think it's fair. They don't think it's an act of a good neighbor. So he's going to have a really, really hard time trying to...
So Rod, what chance do you think that the Mexican government, even if it's a new administration in Mexico City, would ever agree to any kind of agreement? Repatriation money.
Wow.
I could get that out. That they would agree in any way?
Little to none. There's little to none chance that they would because they have their own internal politics to deal with. But those aren't the only ways. Look, there's a lot of money, hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars that flow from Mexicans that are in this country back to Mexico. Well, we have legal methods in which we can take a percentage of that money and apply it. That's not the only one. There's also, there's other things regarding companies and company businesses that do it. None of these are perfect. I'm not surprised that Mexicans don't want to pay for the wall. Not having a wall has been very beneficial to Mexico in the first place. Why would they even want one in the first place, let alone actually pay for it?
Well, the amount Mexicans send 24 billion, more or less, to Mexico every year, right? The trade between Mexico and the United States is close to 300 billion. So for 20 billion, 24 or so billion, are you going to put in risk 300 billion in trade?
Well, right, but that's for goods and products and all. So that's an actual trade. This is just cash being sent from the country back to Mexico. So to me, those are two different items. I don't think those are an either-or proposition. I don't think Mexicans are going to stop buying American stuff because that there is a cost to sending money from Mexico or from America to Mexico.
Well, what are the Mexicans going to do if the United States builds a wall? Are they going to continue buying American products?
Sure they will. If they find it in their economic benefit to buy an American product, they will.
Right, but I would imagine that a trade war between both countries...
we don't want a trade war. I'm totally opposed to trade wars, but I am in favor of fair trade. Good. I mean, I would love to have free trade, wide open free trade. But most of the rest of the world doesn't really want that. And we have enough leverage to where I think that we could negotiate much better trade deals that could give much free trade that is good for everybody, but is more fair to American workers also.
Right. Why don't we take just a quick break, and we'll be back in a moment for final thoughts.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need
the Debt Ninja. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, you could be facing wage garnishments, levies, liens, property seizure, cancellation of business license, closure of business. The Debt Ninja fights your IRS debt. That's why you need the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja has found the best companies in the country who are on your side to fight debt. Want to learn if you qualify for the IRS Financial Hardship Program? Stop the IRS from garnishing your wages. Even if your bank account has been seized, if you have undeclared taxes, if you have existing IRS debt, it's not too late to call, so grab your phone now. Call the Debt Ninja at 800-945-0083. That's 800-945-0083. Settle your IRS debt to get the power of the Debt Ninja. Dial this number now, 800-945-0083.
Welcome back. It's time for final thoughts. And Andres, I'm going to start with you because you heard from the Mexican President Calderon. You've heard the arguments that many people are saying that they want that wall. They want the government to do something about illegal immigration. What do you say to them?
Well, on my last visit to Mexico, it was very clear to me that Mexican people, Mexican businessmen, their leaders want to work with the United States. President Calderon said it yesterday several times. If we work together, we're stronger. So my invitation is let's rethink the wall. Let's try to put that money into other type of programs, and let's work together for benefit of both countries.
But how likely do you think that President Trump is going to change his mind in terms of building that wall? So therefore, how likely is it that the two countries can work together?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to change his mind, but you can always ask. And I think if both countries work together, definitely it's going to be better.
Rod, predict things. Is that wall going to go up?
Yes, the wall is going to go up. In some fashion or another, it's going to go up. And it better be to the satisfaction of the Trump supporters, too, that it goes up. It can't be a faux wall, you know, that's sort of, yeah, we got some surveillance stuff out there and call it a wall. I think there needs to be an actual, real physical wall for large parts of it, where people are coming through now. And I think that, you know, there are a number of ways to pay for it. But the bottom line is I think that Americans, when they elected Trump, one of the main things that they wanted from him was sort of common sense immigration reform. They wanted immigration security at the border. And they wanted the laws of the land enforced, which we haven't done for a long time on immigration.
What are the political implications if that does not happen?
One-term president and loss of Congress for Republicans.
You don't think the base will stay with president if that wall does
I think you'll see a huge fracture in the Republican Party if the wall or something acceptably close enough doesn't happen. I'm not saying that we need the Great Wall of China for the whole thing, but we need something that is a serious detriment to coming across the border, and it's not just a chain link fence.
Okay. Why don't we leave it there? But before we go, we want to talk to you about what we reported on yesterday about a controversial proposal for a recycling facility near the celery fields in Sarasota County. The applicant, James Gabbard of TST Ventures, has donated more than $17,000 to 4 of Sarasota's sitting county commissioners. Dozens of you shared your thoughts on our Facebook page. John White writes, even before this revelation, this ill-advised project had the feeling of being greased. Besides, the land is not truly surplus if it provides a buffer for other nearby county uses. Charles Oster writes, "This is such a travesty, and if the people allow this to happen, they ought to hang their heads in shame. Money does not solve everything. Give nature its due and protect its resources." And Cindy Garcia writes, "Gabbard has a great idea. This is a good, viable way to bring employment to our area, and it is definitely a needed project. Perhaps the celery fields is not the best location." Well, if you'd like to join the conversation on tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. And FYI, want to watch past roundtable discussions? They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. When we return, we'll have a look at your final weather and plus efforts in Washington to repeal and replace Obamacare. But not everyone is on board why GOP House members are having trouble replacing the Affordable Care Act.
Hey, Tampa Bay, join us for the premiere of a new St. Petersburg tradition, the St. Petersburg Seafood and Music Festival, happening Saturday and Sunday, March 25th and 26th from 10 to 8 p.m. at Northstrom Park. Savor mouth-watering Florida Gulf Coast seafood dishes by top restaurants and chefs while you enjoy great live music from some of Florida's top musical groups. So grab your family and friends for the St. Petersburg Seafood and Music Festival, March 25th and 26th. For more information, visit seafoodfestivals.com.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
Time to get another check on our weather. ABC7 meteorologist Josh Stone is in for Bob tonight. Josh.
All right, Alan, thanks so much. Yeah, we had a lot of activity on our radar earlier today. Now things are starting to wind down. One rogue little cell here in Highlands County. This is very rural areas here just to the south and west of Lake Placid. It could scoot into DeSoto County. Other than maybe a few palm trees that it's affecting, really nothing other than that. So I'm sure the plants are happy, but as far as the rest of the picture, the heavier showers really moving offshore and moving southward. There's some marine warnings out here around the Florida Keys. Key Largo getting socked right now with some heavy storms, but no severe weather right now. So that's good news. And I think for the rest of the evening, we are clear with any sort of storms or even showers coming our way. Our high today topped out at 85, and our average is 77 for this time of the year, so well above the average today. And as far as our rain gauge, the official rain gauge at the Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport showed nothing on it. But that doesn't really tell the story, because around the Suncoast we did pick up some moderate to, in areas, heavy showers. But this particular rain gauge did show nothing, which brings that deficit over 5 inches since January 1st. So we really need to make up that as we go in time here, and unfortunately it looks like we're going to be fairly dry over the next several days. For the rest of the evening, no showers, I believe, are not going to affect us. Partly cloudy, but the story now focuses on the winds. The easterly winds are going to be breezy tonight into tomorrow morning, and at least for a few hours during the afternoon of tomorrow, and then they'll start to die down. And then Saturday and Sunday look wonderful. No rain in the forecast. We could use the rain, but we can take the sunshine and enjoy that. Temperature right now in Sarasota, 74 degrees, 76 in Venice, 77 in Northport, 74 in Arcadia, 69 in Lake Placid at this time. Now, the winds are going to start to crank up. Right now, sustained winds in Anna Maria Island, 19 miles per hour, 16 mile per hour sustained winds in Siesta Key. Out in Lakewood Ranch, 18 mile per hour there, and 16 miles per hour here in Rotunda. Generally out of the east and northeast right now. Area of high pressure will settle in the wake of this cold front that helped produce the showers and storms around the state of Florida today. And that's going to help clear out the skies, bring more dry air, and we're going to be having sunshine in our forecast over the next several days. Big storm system wrapping up here in the Midwest. On the back side of the system where it's cold, that moisture is going to fall as snow. In the front side of the system, through areas of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, the traditional tornado alley, where they're going to see some severe weather spawn by tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be kind of rough weather over there. But not for us. Everything quiets down for us. If you're taking the boat out for tomorrow, just look out. The winds are going to be pretty breezy, especially in the morning hours. Easterly winds at 15 knots with higher wind gusts, but by the afternoon, those winds calm down. Just offshore, sea is 2 to 3 feet with a moderate chop in the bays. Your overnight low bottoms out at 62 degrees. Once again, though, a few clouds streaming on by and breezy conditions with wind gusts over 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, 81 for the high. Remember, the average is 77, so above that. Warm and breezy, at least for the first half of the day. And Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have plenty of sunshine, upper 70s. And that's going to be in the forecast for the next several days. So looking pretty good there if you like the sunshine. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular received a J.D. Power Award for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-297-5313. Go to consumercellular.com or visit a Target or Sears store today.
Luxury for less at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKZ Sports Utility for $249 per month or 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Are you paying too much for your cable or satellite TV? The U.S. government passed a bill mandating free over-the-air digital transmission of all broadcast network television channels. That means with the new TV Freeway digital antenna, you can get free HD programming from your favorite broadcast networks 24/7 without a bill. You just plug it into the back of your TV and start watching all of your favorite broadcast programs for free. There are no contracts to sign, no hidden fees, and no monthly fees. Just free HD broadcast TV. Take it with you anywhere. Call or go online now to get your TV Freeway stick for the incredibly low price of only $14.99. But wait, call or click now and you can get a second TV Freeway stick for a second TV. Just pay a separate fee, but you have to order right now.
Call 1-800-809-5196 to get your TV Freeway. Call now or go to tvfreeway.com. So call 1-800-809-5196. This offer's not in any store. Call now.
Now for your primetime headlines. For 7 years, Republicans have been waiting for this day to repeal and replace Obamacare. But tonight, the vote is off. Why? GOP House members can't agree on what to replace it with. Kristen Holmes has the latest from Washington.
President Trump learning the hard way that negotiating on Capitol Hill may be trickier than in Trump Tower.
We'll see what happens. It's going to be a very close vote.
In a frantic 11th hour push to pass the GOP health care bill that still doesn't have enough Republican votes to pass.
I just wanted to let people know that I was steadfastly in the no category.
The White House working overtime, trying to strike a deal with those holdouts. The president himself working the phones and taking to Twitter to mobilize his massive following.
Call your local representative, call your senator, let them know that you're behind our plan.
The challenge flipping members of the conservative House Freedom Caucus. The chairman of that group, a hard no Wednesday morning, but sounding optimistic after negotiating changes to the bill, but it's still not a done deal.
We're certainly trying to get to yes, but indeed we've made very reasonable requests, and we're hopeful that those reasonable requests will be listened to and ultimately agreed to.
And moves to appease conservatives could cost votes with more moderate members. At least 4 changing their vote to no in the past 24 hours.
And we all know the Senate's going to overhaul this, so I'm not sure why, there is this mad dash.
Republican leadership desperate to keep those votes, holding closed-door meetings on Capitol Hill, targeting wary moderate lawmakers. In Washington, I'm Kristen Holmes.
President Trump continues to defend his unsubstantiated wiretapping claims. House Intelligence Chairman Devin Nunes claims U.S. intelligence officials may have inadvertently but legally picked up the communications of President Trump's transition team. He says the surveillance may have picked up communications from the president himself during the surveillance of foreign nationals.
From what I know right now, it looks like incidental collection. We don't know exactly how that was picked up. But we're trying to get to the bottom of it.
According to Nunes, this isn't related to the FBI's ongoing investigation into the campaign and Russia. Senate Democrats say they intend to filibuster the nomination of President Trump's pick for the Supreme Court. For the most part, Neil Gorsuch has received good reviews for his testimony. Today, the committee is hearing from lawyers, advocacy groups, and former colleagues of Gorsuch. The American Bar Association calls him well qualified, but that evaluation is doing little to convince Democrats to vote for Gorsuch. His nomination now seems to be headed for a showdown that could force Republicans to change the Senate rules to confirm him.
If this nominee cannot earn 60 votes, a bar met by each of President Obama's nominees and George Bush's last 2 nominees. The answer isn't to change the rules, it's to change the nominee.
Normal rules require 60 votes to confirm a Supreme Court nominee. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is joining at least 7 other Democrats who have announced they are voting against Gorsuch. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.